Thanks, Riv. And with that win, it was mentioned, CLG now guarantees themselves a tiebreaker and a chance at first place, and also a finish no less than third place here in the regular season for the NA LCS. But also, as mentioned, Team 8 now has to worry about the C9 victory that will force a tiebreaker for that 7th place slot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange situation they're in right now, right? Because it felt like a very crushing defeat, and there's a chance they're going to have to pick themselves up. They'll know very soon, at least, whether or not they have to play in that tiebreaker, because they looked very, very out of sorts against CLG. They're starting from the very beginning. Right.
I was going to say that all that started at level 1 before minions spawn when Zion picks up that early first blood there on Olaf. And I just want to talk about this Olaf pick a little bit, because we've seen Zion bring back in the Kennen and now the Olaf, 2 champions that are not being played by any other top laner in the NA LCS. This is, you know, just an added strategy here for CLG going up against anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and it's worked out really well for them. As he was just talking about, Zion likes to be one of those champions that can dive the back line. He's tweeting out it's his spirit animal is Olaf. It just really does funnel into his strengths as a carry top laner. So happy to see him back on it. And CLG, they're diversifying right before playoffs as well. So things look really good for them, grabbing one of those buys.
Yeah, the one thing I have to mention for CLG, especially as we're going towards tiebreakers, is we started this split, right? They begin, let's see, that 7-1. And we're thinking Golden Age has returned, right? And then they played Team Liquid, TSM, Gravity, and Impulse, all in a row. Lost all 4 of those games. Those are the teams they could potentially have tiebreakers against. The only win against any of those teams they've had all year was their 1 win against Team Liquid. They've crushed the rest of the competition, but the guys that they're going to be playing the tiebreakers against, I don't necessarily know if CLG was beating themselves during those games. It seems like they were getting beaten by superior competition. And we'll see if this now winning streak, because they put together 2 basic winning streaks. One at the start of the split, then they had the really hard competition all piled in the middle, and now they're on a winning streak once again.
All right, so given that, we look at the people on CLG that are going to have to be, you know, the people that pull them through these victories against the top teams. Looking at Double Lift, very solid performance today on Blue Ezreal, and all around has had a very solid performance this split statistically.
Yep, most kills in the North American LCS right now. He's 6 ahead of Bjergsen, so we'll have to track that in the next game for the kill leader for the split.
Yeah.
They've been a very successful
split. The thing
split
I look most at when looking at CLG games are the stages in the game. And they get such a good early lead by manipulating the lane swaps like this and getting Zion ahead. And that's why, oh, this Olaf is so scary because he's ahead and he can dive my back line. Olaf, not scary at all if he doesn't get that early lead. And against the top teams, the reason that they struggle is because they aren't able to get as big of a lead as they are against the bottom teams. That's why they've been crushing all of the lower rated teams, because they get such an enormous advantage out of the lane swap. When they don't get that, then they really struggle. The mid-game team fights, the shot calling in the mid-game, that's where it gets a little rocky.
All right, so we continue to give them praise for their early game. We'll see if they can continue that trend against the people who are a little bit more organized. Back over to Team 8 really quick and prepared for it, exactly. Back over to Team 8, if they do have to play a little bit later, what are the things they shore up here, you know, coming off of this game? You said they have to bounce back, but in what ways can they most assure a victory against Cloud9 if they have to play?
Find some way of protecting Calitrolls, right? Obviously, he has to protect himself. He cannot be dying at level 1.
Don't pick a fight with Olaf.
Yeah, don't pick a fight with Olaf, step 1. But secondly, I think Golden Glue's actually been performing quite well. Try and build around him, actually. And even though Calitrolls, when he started the LCS, we were saying put him on carries, put him on a tank, a more supportive role, and just try and use your 2 carry threats from mid and bottom.
They had some of their greatest successes when they still had Slushy here, and they had Slushy on champions where he could affect the team fights, like Orianna. He had some of his best games on Orianna, and then LeBlanc as well. That's no longer a very good option, but you get the idea. Yeah, don't do that, but you get the idea.
All right, well, both of those teams have a chance to play later. CLG for sure. Coming up next, though, Cloud9 will look to end the split as they started it with a win over TSM. Stay with us.
He's gonna keep going.
Oh, sweet.
He's gonna keep going.
Sassy Molassie.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
Nice.
Dodges out. Zion Spartan. Hexdrinker comes up. He throws on the Ragnarok. He starts going crazy. Golden Glue is able to cap off Pole Belter. What a shot! Timed by Nien. He flashes out, fires one back over his shoulder. The barrel's going to take down Alistar. Unbreakable Will coming in for Dodo. Double it flashes over the wall. Double it picks up 2 more. Counter Logic Gaming take down Team 8.